Right now, in museums worldwide, there are missing mummies. They're not lost, they were eaten. For 500 years, Europeans ground up Egyptian mummies and ate them as medicine. Not metaphorically, actual human remains. In their tea, in their tinctures, in their bodies. Kings did it, priests blessed it, doctors prescribed it. Everyone wanted pulverized Egyptian. It started with a translation error that would lead to centuries of medical cannibalism. Medieval doctors read Arabic texts about mumia, a tar-like healing substance from mountains. But they confused it with mummy, as in Egyptian mummies. Oops. They thought ancient Egyptian preservation methods created the healing substance. So if you needed medicine, you needed mummies. Supply and demand kicked in. By the 12th century, grinding up mummies was standard medical practice across Europe. Powdered mummy supposedly cured everything: headaches, bruises, broken bones, plague. The logic? Mummies lasted thousands of years, so they must prevent decay in living bodies. King Charles II of England rubbed powdered mummy on himself daily. He even created the King's Drops, mummy powder mixed in alcohol made from human skulls. Let that sink in. The King of England drank pulverized humans mixed with skull juice. Francis Bacon, the philosopher, died from eating too much powdered mummy. The demand was so high that Egypt's ancient tombs were ransacked wholesale. Mummy dealers became legitimate businessmen. They had shops, they advertised. Venice became the mummy trading capital. Ships arrived loaded with corpses. There were mummy-quality grades. Royal mummies cost more than commoner mummies. But demand exceeded supply. Egypt only had so many ancient corpses, so dealers got creative. They started making fake mummies. They'd take recently dead slaves or prisoners, dry them out, and sell them as ancient. Some didn't even bother with that. They ground up recent corpses and called it mummy. European nobles were literally eating executed criminals, thinking it was Pharaoh dust. The French king Francis I always carried mummy powder, never travelled without it. Catherine de' Medici took mummy powder for her migraines, daily doses of the dead. Apothecaries displayed mummy parts in their windows, like advertising fresh produce. The Catholic Church was fine with this. Consuming the dead for health, approved. They saw it as using God's creation wisely. Waste not, want not, including corpses. Artists used mummy powder too. Mummy brown was a real paint colour. Pre-Raphaelite painters loved it. They literally painted with human remains. One painter, Edward Burne-Jones, discovered his paint was actual mummy. He buried the tube. By the 1600s, some doctors started questioning if eating humans was actually medicine. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was just cannibalism with extra steps. But it took until the 1700s for mummy medicine to fade from mainstream practice. Even then, Victorian England had mummy unwrapping parties, entertainment cannibalism. They'd unwrap mummies at social gatherings and give guests pieces as party favours. Napoleon's troops shot the nose off the Sphinx. They also ground up mummies for medicine. The practice was so common that mummy became a colour and a medicine simultaneously. We don't know how many mummies were consumed. Thousands? Tens of thousands? Entire dynasties might have been digested by European nobility. Museums today have fragments. The rest? They're part of European genetic heritage now. Your ancestors might literally have ancient Egyptians in their bloodstream. All because of a translation error and the belief that eating the dead prevented decay. The Egyptians spent fortunes preserving bodies for the afterlife, only to end up as expensive snacks for European hypochondriacs. The ultimate irony? Mummies were preserved with toxic substances like bitumen and mercury. So people were poisoning themselves, eating poison-preserved corpses for health. Next time you visit a museum and see an empty mummy case, now you know where it went.